Good morning, everyone. We'll just start in next 2 minutes. I'm just waiting for others to join. The scheduled time was 11 o'clock in the morning, and we'll be starting from 11. To all the people who have joined till now, a very good morning. This is Shalendra, your host today, and I'll be presenting uh, IoT, smart farming, and IoT for agriculture in today's webinar. And in the starting, I mentioned that this webinar will be a combination of technology plus the application, because a lot of people who are joining here are not from technology background. So I cannot deep dive too much into technology. At the same time, I like to make it a mix of application of technology in agriculture also, so people can understand and people can correlate that how technology can be used in this modern days, means how deeply it has penetrated. The focus of today's webinar will be on IoT. There are multiple technologies which are already in used in agriculture, but today's focus will be on IoT. If we generate enough interest in other technologies, we can host another webinar next week. Next week, I'm going to host a webinar where I'll be calling one of the farmer with whom we are working, and he's a progressive farmer. He's a new farmer, and he will discuss his story on how he is using technology to improve the way people do farming, to improve the quality and quantity of produce at his farm. But we can take a poll, or we can take a input from all the participants that what other technology they like to discuss about in agriculture, and we'll see if we can schedule those webinar in coming days. And we'll unmute everyone in the last of the meeting, where we'll have a Q&A, question and answer. I have put up almost like half an hour for that. We have got 35 questions from different participants, and I'll try to answer all of those questions in that specific time, and then we'll take question live from the people who are in the webinar. Okay, so it's 11 o'clock. I'll start now. So again, welcome everyone who have joined recently. सर आई हैव टू बी इन इंग्लिश. हिंदी बोलना पॉसिबल नहीं है अभी, क्योंकि बाकी लोग हिंदी नहीं समझ पाएंगे. सो आई हैव टू बी इन अ कॉमन लैंग्वेज. आई एम सॉरी इफ यू मीन्स आई एम सॉरी फॉर दैट. Good morning, everyone. I am Shailendra. I work in Yuktix Technologies as a co-founder, and welcome everyone in today's webinar. Today's webinar is about smart farming and application of IoT in agriculture. I'll be starting now, and people who will be joining after that means we'll try to share more information with them. So. Yuktix is so I'll just start with a small brief about what Yuktix is, what we do in agriculture. So Yuktix is an agri-tech startup. We are based out in Bangalore. We are developing next generation agri intelligence for crop, which is developed on top of our IoT platform. IoT as an Internet of Thing. A lot of people have asked in the group what is IoT. They were not aware of what is IoT. So IoT, if you expand IoT, it's Internet of Things. And very specifically, if you want to cite some example with respect to agriculture, these are the most of the people will be using thermometer in their agriculture farms or in their farms, in polyhouse, in greenhouse. To capture the information from a thermometer, somebody has to go near to thermometer, right? It is a manual process. Whereas Internet of Thing device allow you to know about the temperature in real time, being anywhere. So you can be in your home. Sir, am I audible to everyone? Krantesh, am I audible?
Yes,
Audible.
yes,
Yeah,
you are
audible.
audible.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
Yes, yes.
fine. Thank you. So I
Yes,
was
you are
telling
audible.
that if someone is using a thermometer, they have to go and they
Just
have to,
interrupting once.
yeah.
If you can use in between Hindi, because lots of people are asking for Hindi. We can
Okay.
understand, but there is so many people, they also need to understand all these things.
सर ठीक है, मैं समझ गया, तो आई विल
हाँ,
ट्राई टू
बीच बीच
रिपीट
में
माय
आप इसको हिंदी
सेंटेंस।
बोलेंगे तो उन्हें भी अच्छा लगेगा।
ठीक है
That's all.
सर, मैं ठीक है सर, सॉरी टू दोज गाइस हु कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी, but because people are asking, I have to
हाँ,
be in a combination
yeah,
of
yeah,
Hindi and
that's all.
English. So sir, yeah, so I was telling that internet of thing allow farmers or internet of thing allow people who are in farming, they can be growers, they can be agronomist, they can be researcher who are working in an agri institute, to capture the information from their farm in real time without going over there. For example, in earlier time, if somebody has to know about what is the soil moisture, they have to go in the field, collect the soil sample, get the soil sample back in the lab, and then find out how much soil moisture is there. But with internet of things, you can know about the soil moisture at your field in real time. You can get the information on your mobile phone. Sir, I will not try to replicate the same in Hindi कि इंटरनेट ऑफ थिंग एक ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी है जो आपको अलाउ करती है आपके फार्म पे क्या वेदर है उसका उसको रिकॉर्ड करने में बिना वहां पर जाए हुए। फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर कोई एग्रोनॉमिस्ट है जो कि एग्रीकल्चर में काम करता है, पहले उसको उस फार्म पे जाना पड़ता था, उसको थर्मामीटर यूज करना पड़ता था, उसको कॉपी में रिकॉर्ड करना होता था। अभी क्या है, वो एग्रोनॉमिस्ट अपने घर पे बैठा हुआ है, उसके पास फार्म का इंफॉर्मेशन उसके मोबाइल फोन पे डिलीवर हो रहा है। Now this information which we are talking here, it can be air temperature, it can be air humidity, it can be rainfall, it can be wind speed, wind direction, it can be soil moisture, it can be leaf wetness, it can be soil EC, it can be solar radiation also. So there are multiple variables which IoT enable to be recorded in real time without going there in the field. So this is just an introduction of internet of thing, that internet of thing allow you to monitor different physical variables in real time without actually going to the place where these variables are being recorded. So I was giving a brief about Yuktish Technologies. Yuktish Technologies is an agri-tech startup. We are based out in Bangalore. We are developing next generation agri intelligence for crop, and this is being developed on top of our IoT platform. Uh, Now, some more information about Yukish Technologies. We were recognized by World Bank Agri Innovation as a top innovator of 2020. We were also a participant of Poland Prize. We are also incorporated in Poland. We right now we are a participant of Karnataka KSAP CCAM cohort. We were also the winner of Government of Karnataka Idea to POC winner. With Government of Karnataka, we have deployed our technology among 100 farmers. We were also the participant of Government of India Indo-Israel Innovation Challenge, where we submitted our post-harvest monitoring solution. We were the participant of Marico Innovation Foundation. We were also the recipient of Intel and DST plugin. We were also a top 50 emerged company from NASSCOM, and we are a Government of India recognized MSME. What we do, so as a company, we create next generation infrastructure to collect and analyze data from agriculture sensors. So what does that mean is that we deploy these sensors in the field, we collect the information, and then we analyze the information, we analyze the information, and we provide the actionable intelligence to the user. सर, इसका मतलब ये है कि हम जहाँ पर भी काम करते हैं वहां पर जाके हम अपने सेंसर लगाते हैं, सेंसर से इंफॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट करते हैं, उस इंफॉर्मेशन को एनालाइज करते हैं, उस इंफॉर्मेशन को फार्मर के साथ शेयर करते हैं जिस जिस फॉर्मेट में फार्मर समझ पाए। We make ubiquitous computing easy using sensor only. We also provide data analysis and cloud tools to provide actionable data to growers. तो हम क्लाउड टूल यूज करते हैं, हम नेक्स्ट जनरेशन डाटा एनालिसिस यूज करते हैं ताकि जो डाटा हम कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं उसको एनालाइज कर सकें। सर, आई थिंक आई हैव टू स्विच टू इंग्लिश ओनली बिकॉज इट्स समटाइम इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू स्विच बिटवीन इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी. So we collect this information from the farm. We analyze this information. We use next generation cloud tools and technology like artificial intelligence and machine learning to provide the actionable data to growers, because growers who are doing farming at the farm level don't know how to analyze this data. They don't care about how temperature is moving. They don't care about how humidity is moving. They care
No,
about,
start
okay,
with it.
what they
Start
need
with it. No, no, start with it.
to. Krantesh, can you please mute others?
Yeah, muted. Yeah, continue.
So and the last part is that we develop these low powered hardware devices which with modern networking and smart sensing for agriculture farm. So our devices are low powered, they can work anywhere without any human intervention. They can collect the agriculture information from different locations. So this is a small information about what we do. We work with direct to growers, we work with growers also, which are marginal farmers. We work with B2B companies also, we work with research institutes also. We enable B2B company and research institute with our sensor infrastructure, so they can focus on the work they are doing. So now coming back to topic of today's webinar, we will be talking about smart farming, and then we'll be doing a deep dive into Internet of Things application for agriculture. So this is a generic slide which talk about different smart farming techniques. So smart farming is the next way, is a new way of doing agriculture, which include technology, which include new techniques, using which growers can grow more, they can improve the quality, and they can maximize their profit. Because for growers, for anybody who is into agriculture, the main aim is, okay, can they earn more from whatever they are producing, right? And now agriculture is being done by growers also. There are different B2B companies, there are different contract farming company who are doing agriculture. There are different research institutes who are doing a very in-depth research in agriculture. So for all of them, IoT can come into picture. Now we'll start on the smart farming techniques. The first thing is image analysis. Now image analysis can be done using satellite information, it can be done using drones, or it can be done by deploying camera onto the field, or even by using camera based application which allow you to capture images, upload the images to the cloud, and get some analysis. Second is smart farming technique can be Internet of Things, which I have already discussed about, and we'll be discussing more about that, how IoT can help people do farming in a smarter way. Then is soil analytics, how soil testing can be done. Can soil testing be done in real time, or can soil testing take less time as compared to the lab-based analysis? Why soil testing is required? I think everyone who is into farming understand that people need to do soil testing in order to find out the micro and macro nutrients in the soil. Does soil has sufficient NPK or not? Does soil has sufficient organic carbon content or not? Does soil has sufficient iron or not? Because if any of these micro or macronutrients are not there in the soil, it will impact the plant growth. One new technology that is now being discussed a lot in agriculture is blockchain. So blockchain is more like tracing, that if somebody is growing a produce in a specific location, and a buyer is buying the same produce in a different location, can buyer trace back from where this produce is coming without? And blockchain allow people to make that tracing impenetrable, means nobody can change from where this thing is coming. Once the entry is added into the software, nobody can change from where it's coming. So again, I'll take a small example over here. For example, farmers in Bangalore Malu region are growing grapes, and their grapes are being sold somewhere in Delhi. So can the buyer in Delhi take out his phone, scan the barcode, and can he know about which farmer farm this produce is coming? What kind of activities he has done? Has he what kind of chemicals or what kind of fertilizer he has used? So this kind of information can be taken out using blockchain. Now in terms of data, there are different techniques like artificial intelligence and machine learning, big data, and data analytics. Big data, as in, if here also an example is IMD is collecting this information. IMD is collecting this information from thousand different farms, thousand different weather station all across India, and they are collecting this information from last 10-20 years. They would have a lot of data points with them. Can they use this big data analytics to come up with some actionable output? That can they use the output by running big data analytics on how rain is moving. Can they use this information to predict the rain forecast in future? Other smart farming techniques can be farm management software, which big farms or big B2B company use to manage their farm. It include different kind of financial transaction. It include different kind of it almost include all that smart farming techniques. And then again, big company also use ERP application. ERP application allow them to customize the software as per their requirement. uh, I'll take question after this in between also. So now we are entering into a segment where we'll be discussing more about IoT. What is IoT? What are the different components of the IoT? What does IoT constitute of? Then we'll go into individual component explanation. Then we'll go into the application. So IoT component. So what does IoT component? What IoT component has? So anybody means should I make it an open question? Anybody over here understand? Krantesh, can you unmute all of them?
Okay, so those who want to speak can unmute themselves. Okay, is often
Yeah.
just
So
unmute.
this is a question to all over who are over here. Means
Yeah.
what do you think IoT is as per your understanding or as per your information? Anybody among the participant would like to
shall
share
I,
the information?
Sir, my name is Manoj from Kochi. Shall I ask
Yes, sir.
some question? One question about blockchain.
So blockchain,
No,
because
I'm
again,
ask-
blockchain is not today's. Yes, sir. So I think that blockchain question we can keep for the last, because right now I am trying to focus more on IoT, and we are not a company who is into blockchain,
right.
right? But I'll try to answer your question as per my information.
Hello, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, what is cloud computing, sir?
Sir,
What
cloud
is cloud
computing.
computing?
Yes, sir. Cloud computing is any kind of analysis which you are doing on the server. So for example, you have for example, for a researcher, if he has last 1 year data regarding how temperature is moving, how humidity is moving in actual sheet, he can do that. He can do that analytics or that analysis on the actual sheet. But cloud computing allow you to do all the computation using software onto the cloud, not locally.
Okay, sir, I'm asking one question, sir, because we are using IoT and image analysis and all. All these data are
Yes,
stored
sir.
in database. But is that is stored in blockchain or in cloud? Where it is
No,
stored?
sir. That is,
Where
sir,
we
that is,
need to-
sir,
where we
that is
need to
stored in cloud. Yes,
cloud. Okay.
yes,
But the
in cloud.
blockchain we are using only to track, right? Only to track
Only to
the
trace.
trace.
Right, sir. Trace.
Right.
I will probably explain it a bit further.
But for that, we need to keep the same data in both cloud and both blockchain. No? That is
Yes, sir.
required. No?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Right, sir. Very
All
right.
right. Thank you.
So, Krantesh, you can unmute others.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
So the components of IoT are agriculture sensor. These sensor. Now I'll be whatever I'll be talking with respect to agriculture. Krantesh, you need to go on mute.
Yeah. Okay. Please. Okay, just a second.
Yeah. So whatever I'll be talking after this, I'll be talking in with respect to agriculture, because we are talking about IoT application in agriculture. So all my example will be in regards to agriculture. So the components of IoT are agriculture. First of all, sensor. What physical parameter you want to measure from the field. These are the this is the first component of any IoT device. The sensor is something that allow you to capture, to measure the physical parameter. These physical parameters can be again micro weather and soil parameters in terms of agriculture. These physical parameters can be GPS location, if somebody is using GPS device to track where their asset is. This physical parameter can be the soil pH or soil EC or soil temperature in case somebody is working in hydroponics. This physical parameter can be the temperature of his livestock, of his cow, of his goat, if he want to monitor the health of his livestock. This physical parameter can be the vibration of machine if somebody is into industrial IoT. So the first component of any IoT device is the sensor. Sensor is something that allow them to monitor the physical variable, which cannot be physical variable. The second part is the IoT device itself. So sensor is something that give you only the information. With sensor you cannot do anything, right? With sensor is more like a thermometer. So again, thermometer is also a sensor, right? But you cannot measure that thing in real time. And as I mentioned earlier, IoT devices allow you to monitor the physical variables in real time. So second component of any IoT device is the IoT device itself, or the hardware, which take the input from the sensor. Now this input can be a digital input, as in terms of 0 1 or some kind of protocol. This input can be a current source also. This input can be a voltage also. So IoT device understand how to manipulate the output which is coming from these sensors. Now IoT devices can be a micro weather monitoring device, a smart irrigation device, or an insect counting camera, or a field view camera also. These all can be IoT devices. Another example can be a GPS tracking device, or a tag which which you can put on the livestock to monitor their temperature or monitor their location. These IoT devices can be small devices which people who are working in industrial IoT can put on their motor. These devices can be some devices which are capturing the current consumed or voltage consumed from the meters. So now I think everywhere in India, people are using smart meters. These smart meters can track how much electricity you are using. They can track this how much the consumption of the electricity, and they can push this data to the local authority, where they know how to convert the amount of electricity consumed by the user into the money based upon the per unit cost, right? So IoT device is the second part. Third part is the cloud. I think somebody has used what is cloud computing. So all this data which you are collecting from the sensor with the help of IoT devices is pushed to a central server. In simple term, this all data is pushed to the server using GPRS or 4G SIM, or using Wi-Fi, or using Ethernet. Now server is a place where you have a software running which analyze all this data and which convert this data into the actionable intelligence for the grower. In a format that farmer can understand. I think a lot of question have come. Sir, all these devices, I think I will take some question. All these devices are solar. These devices can be solar powered. These devices can be battery powered. These devices can be DC 12 volt powered. So yes. I think again I will repeat it again. The components of IoT are agriculture sensors. These sensors in terms of agriculture are micro weather or soil sensor. Now in terms of micro weather, it can be temperature, it can be humidity, it can be atmospheric pressure, it can be amount of rainfall, it can be how much wind speed and what is the wind speed, what is the wind direction. It can be soil EC, soil temperature, and soil volumetric water content. It can be the amount of light, it can be the sunshine hours, it can be the height of the water stored in some chamber. So these are the physical variables. Second is the IoT devices which measure all these physical variables and push it to the cloud. Now cloud is a server where all kind of analytics, all kind of computation happen. And after this computation, the actionable information is presented in front of the user. The user can be a direct to grower, a grower who is doing capsicum farming in a 2-acre field. A user can be a manager in a B2B company who is into contract farming. A user can be an agriculture researcher who is doing his research on a specific crop, and he want data from his field in real time. Should we I think we'll keep the question in the last, because again we have to keep track of time. It's already 22 minutes down here, and I think I'm still in the technology section, and I like to switch to the application section more. So again, what is again I am what I think I have discussed about this in my last slide, but again we can deep dive. So on the IoT device side is sensor, which I have told you in the last. Sensor are the sensor is something that measure physical variables. Then you have hardware. Hardware is the hardware device. I will show the picture in the next slide. Then firmware. Firmware is something that is a software on the hardware, which allow you to which actually get this data in a digital format and push it to cloud. Communication is something using which you push this data to the cloud in real time. Now communication can be of 4G GPRS. That's mean you will be using a 2G or a 4G SIM. The communication can be via satellite. So now these days there are some low Earth orbit satellite using which you can transmit data even in a no network zones. This communication can be using Wi-Fi or Ethernet. This communication can be a sub gigahertz module. I will cite some example down the line. So please don't get bothered about if it's too much technical. I'll be using all these terms, and I'll try to explain all these terms using some of the case studies. So the first part is the hardware part, that includes sensor, hardware, firmware, communication module, and all of this combined together to make a IoT device. Second part is the IoT cloud. IoT cloud allow us to manage the device and data, right? So you can have thousands of lakhs of devices. So IoT cloud allow you to manage all those devices. Now on the IoT cloud side, we are using different kind of databases. We are using different kind of computation. We are managing how data is manipulated, where to send this data, what to do with this data. Now the third part of IoT is the API machine. So after all the computation, you have to present this data on the smartphone devices, on the Android app or on the iOS app or any other smartphone, and as well as you have to present this information on the web application also, right? So API machine allow us to get this data from the IoT cloud and present this data in front of the user on the web on different kind of interfaces. Now on the backend side, we are doing a lot of computation using AI, ML. We are running different kind of reporting and alert engine. Reporting as in, if you want to send some kind of report, send some kind of report to your management that, okay, this is how the temperature is moving in my field from last 1 month. This is how my grower has done the irrigation in last 6 months. And your management want to know, so you can send some report to your management. They can have a higher level look, and they can understand, okay, what is happening. And I think I already discussed about the front end. Okay, all this computation is happening onto the cloud, which onto the cloud server or onto the IoT cloud, but you cannot see it without the front end. So front end include the web, smartphone applications. So this is what I was talking about. On the left hand side, on the top, you can see the hardware. That this is the kind of hardware any IoT company will be having. So this is the hardware which goes in, and the second image is of the devices, right? So how you put these devices inside a box. If you can zoom this. Okay, I'm not able to zoom, but you can see a communication module. You can see the device inside the box, and you can see the connectors. Right now, bottom left side, you can see my colleagues who are working in an office. They are writing the firmware. They are uploading the firmware on these devices. And the right hand side, the bottom right hand side, you can see the device which are completed. So these are the devices which actually go in the field, which actually are deployed in the field. All these devices, again, I'll repeat, are solar powered, are battery powered. They are weatherproof. They can withstand any kind of harsh environment. Okay, until and unless somebody take them and dip and put them inside the river, but again, they will withstand huge amount of rain. They can withstand low temperature. They can withstand high temperature, like up to 45 degrees in North India also. I think yes, sir. I will come to the applications, and I will come to the hydroponics application also. So application part, application of this IoT is the most important thing. So in the last, I will discuss about all those things. So these are the devices. Sensors are a bit different, right? So these are the devices. So top, you can see the PCB, how they are assembled. Then my colleagues working on the firmware, they are uploading this firmware onto the hardware. And right hand side is the final device. Going to the next slide. So these are the application which we can discuss a bit about every application. Application of IoT in agriculture. So pre-harvest is when somebody is doing the harvesting, when somebody is doing the agriculture activities. This include irrigation, this include disease and pest, and with the help of IoT, you can get information about irrigation, you can get information about the forecast of disease and pest. You can manage your soil, you can have weather forecast, you can have imaged from the field, you can do image based scouting, you can trace your assets. In post harvest is most like when you are storing your produce in the cold storage, and you want to know at what temperature or at what environmental conditions your produce is stored. Hydroponics, again, IoT is also used in hydroponics. IoT is also used in aquaponics. IoT is also used in vertical farming. In fact, we have provided our sensors for hydroponics and vertical farming people. IoT is also used in livestock monitoring. Livestock monitoring, as in where people want to monitor the location of their livestock. They want to monitor the health of their livestock. Dairy is dairy oil put in the post harvest. There are some companies who are working in IoT in dairy, where they are monitoring the temperature of the milk stored in any kind of chamber, where they're monitoring how much amount of milk is flowing through a pipe using flow meter. And last is the farm machinery. IoT can also be used to trace the farm machinery in the farm. So we were trying to work with the government of Assam, where they want to monitor the assets which they are given to farmer on a rental mode. They want to monitor if the asset is really being used in the field or not. They want to monitor the health of the asset. They want to monitor where their asset is. So I'll try to cover individual topic in the next slides. So this is again, this is a combined picture of IoT application in agriculture, or you can say smart farming, right? So this is the first application during the pre-harvest. Please let me know if I'm audible to all of you, and if you want me to go slow, because again I have to limit myself with respect to time, and right now half an hour is left. Krantis, can you please unmute others, and I can get some feedback from all of them.
Sure.
No, you
Sir, any input? Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow?
No, you are
Wait.
going well. The speed is good. We are able to understand.
We are able to understand, sir. No problem. Continue same way.
Okay, sir. Fine. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Krantis, you can mute others. So this is the illustration. This is some kind of drawing which probably can help you to understand more at how IoT can be used in agriculture in the pre-harvest, along with some other smart farming techniques. So you can see on the right hand side, you can see a device which is installed in one part of the field. So a farmer can have a 10-acre field, right? Now he can be doing different kind of crops in different patches of land in that 10 acre. He might be doing banana in 5 acre. He might be doing guava in 2.5 acre. He might be doing tomato in again next 2.5 acre. And every crop have different kind of sensing requirement. So so you can see one sensor which with only soil moisture, lux, air temperature, and air humidity installed. This is the wireless sensor. You can see the second sensor is only with soil moisture and soil temperature. Then you can see a weather station installed with rainfall, leaf wetness, air temperature, air humidity, soil moisture, and it might also have wind speed, wind direction, right? And you can see one more sensor with only soil moisture. So the idea here is that again, I will like to go more deep over here. There are few variables in agriculture when you're talking about pre-harvest which don't change in a specific geography, right? These variables can be rainfall. If you're not talking about the hilly terrain, rainfall will not change at least in a radius of 1 to 2 kilometers, right? Wind speed will not change in a radius of 1 to 2 kilometers if it is a plain terrain. The amount of light falling or solar radiation will not change in that specific 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer radius. But there are few variables which can even change from plot to plot. For example, temperature can change from plot to plot based upon the canopy cover, based upon where that is, based upon the if the irrigation is done recently or not. Soil moisture will change based from even plot to plot. You might be doing irrigation in one plot, but you might not be doing irrigation in the other plot because the crop don't need that, right? So you can have different kind of sensor installed based upon the requirement. You don't need to install all kind of sensors. These sensor measure all these variables, as in temperature, humidity, pressure, rainfall, wind speed, wind direction, soil moisture, sometimes soil EC also, solar radiation also. Now all this information is pushed to the cloud using GPRS or even satellite communication. This all information come to the come to a cloud. In our case is Euclid's AnkiDB cloud, our IoT cloud. Now all this information is processed over here. We run different kind of algorithms. For example, people who are from research background, they understand how to calculate the evapotranspiration. They know what is crop coefficient. They know what is crop modeling. They know what is crop disease forecasting. So all kind of computations are done in real time on the on the AnkiDB IoT cloud. And after the computations are done, after the processing is done, all this information is presented onto the web interface, onto the smartphone interface. Now this information can, now what this information can be about, this information as can be about the disease forecast. Okay, can you tell farmer when a specific kind of disease is going to happen? With the help of technology, it's not possible to tell about every disease because it's very much complicated. I always cite an example of a human versus human compared to a crop, right? Just like in human, there are thousands of diseases which can happen to us, right? Just like when Corona came, nobody has the vaccine in the very starting. It took some time to understand the disease. It took some time to develop vaccines against that. It took a lot of research behind that to find out a vaccine, right? Similar is the case with the plant. Again, if you go to a doctor and if you tell him that, okay sir, I am feeling feverish, he will give you a Combiflin, right? And you will be cured. So that is very simple. That is very simple thing. In agriculture also, researchers have published a lot of disease prediction models, right? By monitoring the micro weather from last 3-4 years, by monitoring the incidences of these disease, and then correlating that incidences with respect to the environmental condition, and then coming up with different kind of equation. This equation can be regression based. This equation can be a simple line fitting also. With the help of AI and ML, what has changed is that AI and ML can allow you to develop this model by yourself. You have environmental data, you have occurrence of disease, you feed this data to the AI and ML models, and they will give you a equation. It will not be perfect. The accuracy can be something between 60 to 70%, but yes, it's more than zero, right? Earlier you didn't have anything, now you have something with you. Now coming to the second point, the actionable points for the farmers can be the irrigation advisory. Okay, as I mentioned, that every crop has its own irrigation requirement based upon the stage, right? You might not be required to do irrigation every day, right? Or you are not required to do irrigation totally on the guess base. Okay, that you see the soil superficially and you irrigate, because what you look on the at the superficial level might be very much different but from the soil content at the 1 feet or 2 feet where the root zones are, right? So you need to actually find out what is the soil moisture content at the root zone in order to optimize the soil, optimize the irrigation. If you will irrigate more, it will cause the drenching, it will cause the clogging of the roots. The roots will not be able to get the micronutrients, right? Or if you irrigate too much, the water will take the soil nutrients with them towards the more depth, right? If you are irrigating less, again you are putting your plant in a stress mode. They are not able to get a required amount of water from the soil. So you have to maintain the irrigation in a specific range. That is, sir, am I audible? Kantesh, am I audible to you?
Yes, you are audible. You are audible.
Okay. So you have to maintain the soil moisture in an optimum range. That is, I think people who are from the agriculture background will understand there's something called field capacity, there's something called wilting point, and there's something called optimum range, right? So you have to maintain the soil moisture in the optimum range. If your plant goes into the wilting point range, again, it might not able to get back. Or if you are irrigating too much, again you are first of all you are wasting water, and then you are making nutrients go away from the root zone. So irrigation advisory based upon the evapotranspiration, irrigation advisory based upon the weather forecast, irrigation advisory based upon the soil moisture is what we tell growers, also based upon the crop stage. Then weather prediction, again, weather forecast is something which I think only few people do in India. So we have used our artificial intelligence and machine learning to provide a short-term weather for short-term rain forecast only. There are few companies, or I will say organizations in India who do weather forecast like IMD or SkyMet, and definitely researchers who are into agrometeorology do a lot of prediction for the local farmers. But yeah, so we also provide weather forecast as a part of offering to our farmers. Then definitely real-time weather monitoring. Now there are some progressive farmer who understand that okay, if temperature is this much, this is going to affect their plant. If the soil moisture is this much, this is going to affect their plant. So for them, real-time micro weather monitoring is important. And then hotspot detection using the drone mapping or using the satellite information. So people who are again or progressive farmer who are a part of this meeting, they understand what is GIS, what is drone based mapping, how they can use drone to find out the NDVI imaging, where there's more vegetation, where there's less vegetation, right? So this is here I have tried to cover the IoT application in pre-harvest. Now going to the second slide. Again, this is a video. Probably I don't have sufficient time to run this video in this meeting. Otherwise, probably will lose time. So you can go to our YouTube channel. You can have a look. This is some basic introduction about what is IoT and what is IoT.
A huge chunk of Indian population earns their livelihood through agriculture, but only few of them have adopted modern technology to increase their productivity. A farmer like Ramesh, who owns 50 acres of land, uses excessive amount.
So you can have a look at this video from our YouTube channel. I will switch to the second slide. Okay, just a moment. I think I have to pause this.
With
And then now, yeah. So coming to the second part, probably we would like to discuss. I think because again, this question was raised in the webinar group, that what is smart irrigation? What are different kind of smart irrigation techniques, right? So again, I'll cover a few points only. So a smart irrigation, you can divide into two parts. One is a local part. The second is a remote control part. Local part where your device is not connected to the internet, or it is connected, but you are not doing any kind of remote control. What you are doing is you are doing flow-based control. I was in IHR. I was talking to one of the eminent scientists in IHR, Hasargata, and he said that every crop has a requirement, has a specific volume of water requirement, and how you can control. You can have flow meter installed. Your IoT device can keep on monitoring how much amount of water is passing through that pipe, and as soon as required amount of flow meter pass from that flow, as soon as a required amount of water pass through that flow meter, you can turn off the solenoid valve, and you are irrigating only based upon the volume requirement in a specific field for a specific crop, right? The local control can be based upon sensor also. So you install a sensor, you have fit some information in the device that okay, whenever the soil moisture content is above this, you turn off the motor. Whenever the soil moisture is less than this, you turn on the motor, right? Now you can make it more intelligent by adding the weather forecast also. And now there is something called timer based. I think a lot of people understand. I think every farmer understand what is timer based. So you are setting up some time on for every day, that from every day you turn on the pump at 1 o'clock and you turn off the pump at 2 o'clock, right? So these are some local control based smart irrigation techniques. Remote control can be internet based. So for example, I am sitting in my home. My farm is almost like 20 kilometers outside, away from my home. If I can know that what is the soil moisture in my field, and if I click on our application, turn on the motor, it will turn on the motor at my farm, right? And I will keep on tracking the soil moisture content. It will keep on increasing, and after some time, when I will see okay that soil moisture is reaching the field capacity, I will again click one button and it will turn off the motor at that specific location. So here you can use the sensor data. You can analyze what is the weather forecast, and you can turn off or turn on the motor. Second example can be SMS based. You can send a SMS to your controller. It will turn off or turn on the motor. IVR based, I think Kisan Raja, I think most of the people know about Kisan Raja. They have this IVR based controller to which you can call on a specific number. You can push one button, you can click one number, and it will turn on the motor. And again, you can, after some time, you can call again and you can push some button and you can turn off the motor. DTMF is again, I think, call based, that is dual tone multiple frequency. This is the old technique which people were using as a part of remote control. So these are some way using which smart irrigation can be implemented. It can be totally a local, it can be a local control plus monitoring, or it can be totally remote control plus monitoring. Again, this is some example where you can see that, okay, you have different plots, you have soil moisture sensor installed in individual of these plots, which is monitoring the real-time soil moisture level. All this information is sent to the Yuctix cloud using some gateway, and you are getting all this information onto your cloud. You have set some limits on your Yuctix, on the gateway, using which the gateway is turning off a specific solenoid valve. So for example, if you have if you have done the setting for plot 1 that whenever the soil moisture content goes above 28, turn off the motor, and whenever the soil moisture content goes below 10%, turn on the solenoid valve. So this sensor is continuously monitoring the soil moisture level. It is sending this information to Yuctix, to a gateway, or to a Yuctix gateway. Now Yuctix gateway is continuously monitoring what is the soil moisture of plot 1. As soon as soil moisture go below 10%, this Yuctix gateway will turn on this solenoid valve, that is S1, and using this it will irrigate this plot 1. Now this sensor is again recording what is the soil moisture level. As soon as soil moisture content will go above 27%, that is the field capacity, this gateway will turn off this solenoid valve. So this is one example of a smart irrigation that can be done with the help of IoT. This is again another video of our IoT implementation is in a tomato farm, where they have used our IoT devices to do the smart irrigation. You can see one device is there, then you can see another device is there. We'll zoom it. So these are the devices which are installed in different locations. These are monitoring the soil moisture, air temperature, air humidity in real time, pushing this data to the gateway, and then we are controlling the turning off or turning on of the devices. So okay, Krantesh, am I audible to you? Krantesh?
Yes, you are audible. Yes.
Okay, fine. This is another example of IoT application in post harvest. So here you can see that you can deploy these devices in the moving trucks, in the cold storage, in the silos, which will monitor the internal temperature, internal humidity, in some cases CO2 also. For example, anybody who is into potato, they would like to monitor what is the amount of CO2 content in the warehouse, because if the warehouse owner is not maintaining the proper temperature and humidity, thus this potato will start producing the CO2, more CO2, right? So they will like to monitor the CO2, they will like to monitor temperature and humidity. So some of the feature of the IoT devices which somebody should be looking for if they are going for the IoT implementation in the post harvest, these devices need to be wireless. These devices need to be battery powered. These devices, in some cases, you will like to install multiple devices in a single cold storage. So in that case, these devices need to be wireless as well as long range communication, because if you go to inside a cold storage, you are not allowed to run wires, because it will increase the possibility of fire, incidents of fire. Right now, this is a device feature. Now farmer will like to know if the temperature of the cold storage goes below a specific point, below a specific point, or goes above the specific point. The grower or the owner of the warehouse will like to understand what is happening in his warehouse in real time, being in his home or being outside the city. Or a company or a B2B company who is storing his produce in a cold storage which is on rent, will like to understand at what internal environment condition his produce is exposed to, right? So that they know that the quality is maintained. Right now, again, these need to be cost effective, and the management will like to get some reports. So these are some of the features. Here you can see that you can install these devices into deep freezers. You can install these devices into shipping containers. You can install these devices into refrigerated trucks. You can install these devices into silos. You can install these devices into cold storage or warehouses. They all can use different kind of communication mediums like GPRS, satellite or local wireless, or even Wi-Fi, Ethernet. Now all this information is transferred to the AnkiDB cloud, or for sake any IoT cloud. The cloud will generate different kind of reports. It will generate different kind of alerts. It will do different kind of computation. It will, and this all computation, alerts, reports will be made available to the user. Now in our case, the user can be a farmer who want to monitor at what environmental condition his produce is stored, or the second user can be a manager of food, can be a manager of FMCG company. He want to know that his produce is stored in a specific environmental condition so that the quality of the produce is maintained, right? Now again, some example of our ColdSense dashboard and the kind of report which we used to send to the users as well as the SMS. This is again one, probably this I like to show that how we have installed the device in a cold storage, because this I have not discussed earlier. So you can see one device which is battery powered device is installed in the cold storage. This is a chili. I think this was a chili cold storage. Another device which is installed somewhere on a different floor. Then you have a different device installed in the bottom. You can see there. This is the another device that is installed in some other location, and all these devices are wireless devices. They are communicating back to the gateway. So I'll move it forward. Another device which is installed. Another device is installed. So I think we have installed. This is somewhere in Telangana. Now you can come out. So these are multiple devices which are installed, and you can see this is the gateway. So all these devices are communicating to this gateway wirelessly, because you cannot drill holes in the cold storage. So they have to communicate wirelessly. So all this data coming from these devices is coming to this gateway. Now this gateway is sending this information to the cloud using GPRS. So this was another video. Now, this is another application of asset monitoring using GPS and using GPRS. Anybody who is into farm mechanization or farm asset monitoring, they understand, okay, that the user need to monitor where their assets are in the field. So you can deploy these devices, GPS-based devices, in different farm machinery. This can be thresher. These can be trucks which are moving. This can be trolleys which are moving from the field to a warehouse. So they would like to monitor where their assets are in real time, so they can optimize their users. They want to monitor if the assets are really in use or not. If they are lying without users, that means they are not used. They want to monitor the amount of fuel in these vehicles, and they want to monitor their health. They want to monitor who is using these assets, right? And these assets can be tractor, thresher, power tillers, trucks for transport of produce. So here again, some more example that, okay, you can install this GPS. You can monitor the location of the asset. You can monitor the fuel level. You can monitor the driver identification using RFID card. You can monitor the machine health using IoT devices. These sensors can be vibration sensor. This sensor can be fuel gauge sensor. This sensor can be GPS. All this information which you are capturing again is sent to the cloud using different kind of communication medium. These communication mediums cannot be Wi-Fi or Ethernet, because these devices are in the field. These communication medium has to be either satellite or SMS based or 4G or 2G based, right? So once data come to the cloud, again, then you can do different kind of analysis. You can see the real time tracking of your assets. You can see fuel level. You can see the occupancy of machine. You can generate different kind of report. You can send different kind of SMS. You can have a dashboard. Then you can also predict the availability of the machine. So this we have done as a proposal for Assam government. That thing is still in progress. So this is another example of IoT application in agriculture in a different vertical, right? Now, I think people have raised this point that can it be used in hydroponics or in vertical farming? Yes, it can be used in vertical farming as well as in hydroponics. in hydroponics also, there are few variables that a user or a grower will like to monitor. The most important variables, as per my discussion with a lot of growers or users, is the soil pH or soil temperature. Apart from that, they can also monitor temperature, humidity. They can also monitor lux, CO2. They can also monitor wind speed in certain scenarios. For example, I will cite one example over here. We have worked with a company, HM Claus in Bangalore. They have used our devices for their greenhouse and for their open field also. Sometime back, almost like a year back, there was a storm and all their greenhouses were destroyed. Now they used our wind speed data to verify that there was a high gust of wind, and they used this data to claim the insurance. So this is one very odd example. Even we were not aware that, okay, wind speed can be used in this manner by the company. So this is one very odd example. But yes, you can think, okay, that how IoT can be used in different scenarios, right? Now coming back to the hydroponics and vertical, as I mentioned earlier, water pH. Most people have asked me, can you monitor water pH or water EC or water temperature? My answer always has been that the sensors which are available right now in the market, right, they are not that much accurate. Or if sensors are available, the lifetime is very small. So you, in terms of water pH or in terms of water EC, you have to do frequent calibration, because these are chemical based sensors. You have to go and you have to check if the chemical is there or not. You have to do calibration just like you do in lab, right? So at least we are not, we don't provide we don't prefer those sensors, and if the sensors are available, they are quite costly. But again, the point is, yes, it can be monitored. If somebody is willing to do those kind of calibration, it can be monitored. The other variables which can be monitored are temperature, humidity, lux, CO2. Again, the ideology is same, that you have IoT devices, you have sensors. These devices are monitoring all these physical variable. They are sending this physical variable to the cloud. On the IoT cloud, multiple different kind of analytics or ML algorithms are running, which are generating different kind of reports and alerts. And this information is presented in front of the user using the smartphone application or using the web dashboard. So right now we are working with one of the very fast growing vertical farming company in India, and they have used our soil EC sensor to automate the irrigation and to monitor the lux as well as temperature, humidity, because they will be using this information to monitor their farm in real time. This is another example. Okay, what kind of sensors can be used? Ammonia we can monitor. Carbon dioxide, then all the physical variable which I have discussed. Then you have device. This is more like again whatever I have discussed earlier. Then you have devices, then you have transmitter, controller, gateway. On the cloud you have remote management, remote control, rule based alert, and then you can control different kind of actuators. These actuators will control water pump, or this actuator will control vents, mistifiers, grow LED or fans. I'm running short of time, so I have to probably conclude. This is just one example, okay, how we have used our IoT devices in a greenhouse. Krantesh, you have to go on mute. So this is one example that how we have used our devices, and this is a dashboard. Again, one more example of our deployment in a capsicum greenhouse. This you can see this device. Again, this is solar powered device. It comes with temperature. On the backend side, you can see a circular structure. This circular structure is something that includes temperature and humidity, because you are monitoring the air temperature and air humidity, and while it's going down, so that is monitoring the soil moisture content. So using all this information, we were telling them about the disease forecast, we were telling them about the irrigation, we were telling them about if they're maintaining the proper lux, proper lighting condition inside the greenhouse or not. Some examples of our deployment in different remote locations. These deployments are for a NGO in Odisha, and these deployments are really remote. Somewhere in Kalahandi or Simligura, we have done these deployments, which are literally remote locations. Some more examples of our weather station installed in different locations all across India. This again I have shown you as a part of video how Yuctis GreenSense node can be used for field monitoring and smart irrigation. Another example of our wireless device installed in a cotton field somewhere in Kadapa. Again, this is an example of banana plantation. So this might be of something of interest to the researchers, because researchers will always like to have more and more data, because they are doing research, they are developing these models which will be used by others, right? So you can see that this is a field. Now you can see I have mentioned different plots, or you can see there are different rows, right? Now, if somebody who is into agriculture, sir, probably I'll come to the question in the last. I can see a lot of people are raising hand, but I'm sorry, I have to has a question can raise hand and then can unmute themselves. Sir, cost and all, probably you can send us an email, or you can talk to me over the WhatsApp, and I can share that thing over the WhatsApp. This is something which I don't take care of. I have to include my sales team in that. So yeah, so I think if anybody has any question, you can keep on putting the questions here. I will come into every of the question in the last. I will go through this question also, and I'll try to cover the question which people have raised using the Google form. So I was again coming back to the point that I was telling that you can see that there are different kind of rows of even the banana plantation, and people who are into banana plantation, or people who are into row based something like cash crop, they will understand that they might be doing irrigation of this part of land using one solenoid valve, the other part of land using another solenoid valve, and the third part of land using another solenoid valve. Ideally, you would like to have soil moisture monitoring in this part of land also, in this part of land also, and in the third part of land also. Or even if you are if you are controlling the irrigation on individual rows, for a researcher it's always important that they get more data. So you can have multiple devices installed, will be definitely wireless and solar powered. All these devices will communicate to a local gateway. That local gateway will communicate to the AnkiDB Yuctis cloud using GPRS. Again, this all data comes to the server, and you can always check what is happening. Some examples. Kantesh, am I audible? Because I keep on getting this pop-up that your internet is unstable.
You are audible, loud and clear.
Yeah, thank you, Kantesh. So you can see some of the devices deployment. These are again wireless devices. You can see some deployment in the vineyard, some deployment in the dragon fruit plantations, or the shade net. So we are also working with some of the growers who are into dragon fruit, because dragon fruit growers want to monitor the temperature, humidity, as well as the soil moisture content. This is the example of the dashboard. So how people will, okay, I was talking a lot about the web dashboard. Now how a user will assess this information by logging in. So this is of the dashboard that will be made available to the user over the web. Some more example. Okay, you can see that this is the case study that we have done in Kadapa, that we have installed multiple devices in different location in a single village. All these devices were wireless and solar powered. The distance between these devices was close to 1 kilometer. So all these devices, you can see small boxes, they were with soil moisture sensor. They all were communicating to the gateway. On the right hand side, you can see a pole with 2 boxes and some antenna. So all these small devices were communicating to this device, and you have a weather station. So this is how we were covering a complete village. So you installed a weather station in a village, you installed these individual devices, the parameter which change from field to field, and then you combine all this information to provide advisory to the most of the farmer in a village. So people have asked this question, okay, how it can be used for a marginal farmer, a farmer who is doing farming on a half an acre, or a farmer who don't have sufficient amount. So I will probably, this is one example where we have tried to work with the marginal farmers. So please pardon me, I have to, just a moment. So again, I think this also answered the question that there are different NGOs who are working with marginal farmers. So these NGOs are the one who are providing the advisories to the marginal farmer. But what these NGO don't have is a infrastructure, or is a technology infrastructure which can allow them to monitor the variables from different locations. They have agri experts with them. These agri experts can analyze this data and provide the advisories to the farmer using our platform. So right now we are working with multiple NGOs like Syngenta Foundation of India, TSRDS. We are right now working with and we are right now will be starting the work with the international MNC in Rajasthan covering 8,000 farmers. So there are multiple options using which NGOs can use, or FPO can use. FPO can use this information. This is the case study. If Kandesh, should I have some time? I'd like to go through this case study which covered the complete IoT ecosystem.
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Just a moment. So this case study is the implementation of IoT from end to end, right? So this is something which we have done with the international MNC. So they are into potato cultivation, and they were in the production of seeds also. So they want to monitor that to what environmental conditions their seeds are exposed to when these seeds are stored in a cold storage, or when these seeds are transported from the field where growers are doing these seeds to the cold storage also, right? So they want to monitor these. So they want to monitor to what environmental conditions these seeds are exposed to, right? So they have used the IoT to monitor IoT devices deployed in the cold storage, and IoT devices deployed in the vehicles using which they are transporting these seeds from the field to the cold storage. Now, in fact, when they are doing this tissue culture, when they are growing these seed samplings, they were using the IoT devices in the greenhouse. Inside the greenhouse, they were monitoring the temperature and humidity, because if the temperature is less than a specific value, it will destroy the seed, or if the temperature is more than a specific value, it will introduce the sprouting, right? So they have to maintain the temperature, and if the cold storage owner is not maintaining the temperature, there was a huge loss with respect to these seeds. Now they also want to monitor the vehicle when the seeds are transported from the cold storage to the actual sites. Now these sites can be at a very much distance from the cold storage. They can be 200 kilometers away from the cold storage also, right? So the company want to monitor the vehicle status, where the vehicles are these vehicles moving continuously, what is the temperature of the vehicle also. Now once these seeds are put in the field, the company want to monitor the micro weather, how the soil moisture is moving, what is the soil EC, what is the soil temperature, what they want to do soil testing, and they want to record this soil testing in a digital medium. Now they in fact were using our disease forecast, our weather forecast, to come up with the advisories to the farmer with whom they were working, right? Now once after the harvesting also, right, once the pre-harvest season is done, and once harvesting is done, they also want to monitor, again they want to monitor that assets using which they were transporting these potato from the field to the factory where they are going to be processed. So this is one case study where you can see, okay, how IoT is used from end to end in agriculture. So with this, I'll take a close to my presentation, and Krantesh, you can unmute others, and I will go from the top, and I'll try to answer the question which people have asked.
Yeah,
Krantesh,
everyone,
you can
please.
unmute others.
So
Everyone
can I ask now?
Yeah, one by
Sir,
one.
yes,
You can
and I
ask.
will request to, yes, please ask one by one.
Okay, so the sensors which you are using on field, which are the sensors? Basically, soil sensors, moisture.
Yes, sir. These are soil sensor also, soil moisture also, soil EC, soil temperature. In terms of micro weather, these sensors are temperature, humidity, pressure, rainfall, wind speed, wind direction, solar radiation, leaf wetness also.
My point is, I've seen your thing. So what we have done, we have seen other other person also. I don't remember his name, but he has given us presentation on from Bangalore. So the
Okay.
problem is like the sensor. What sensors you are using for soil moisture to get the soil moisture data
So
from field?
yeah, there are different kind of sensors, soil sensors also, which are available in the
So what
market.
you
These
are using
sensors are
exactly?
captive. We are not using the resistive or captive sensors. This is what I
Then-
can tell, because again, this is some kind of information that we usually don't share. I'm really sorry. So this, what we are using it not resistive, is not captive, is not tensiometer. It is something that measures the soil volumetric water. What is the amount of water present in the soil?
Volumetric means again capacity, right?
It's not captive, it's dielectric based.
Okay. Okay. And what is the accuracy and what is the reliability of your sensor?
Sir, these sensors can work up to 3 years. In fact, we have installed a sensor in IHR Asarkata, which is right now working from last 4.5 years also. So these are pretty robust sensors. These are best sensor which anybody can get anywhere.
What is the depth you are covering?
The depth, again, this is a single depth sensor, sir. They are not a multiple depth sensor. So if you want to monitor multiple,
How
depth,
many?
you have to
How
install
much
it.
inch is going inside the soil?
It come with a wire, so you can have this sensor installed at any depth. Sir, if you have any specific question like what kind of sensor we are using, I will request you to put those question in the WhatsApp. You have my number on the WhatsApp. You can ask me those questions on
Oh,
the
sorry,
direct message.
I
and
don't
can
have your
answer.
number. Can you paste your number on this group?
Yes, 9910.
You just put in chat. We will mention that. Thank you.
Just a moment, sir.
Sir, myself Arun Pandian.
Yes, sir.
How can we do insect counting sensor? Why we do that?
Sir, yeah, insect counting can only be done with the help of camera. So you need to have a camera installed, which can keep on taking the pictures, and then you can have image processing to find out the population of insects.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sir, again, I have to go with the individual question. Let me first go with the question which people have already asked, because they have put up this question earlier. And then we can go with the live question. Is that fine, sir, with everyone?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you, sir. So the first question is, can these technologies be implemented in hydroponics? I think I have covered this point during the presentation. Yes, the IoT technology can be implemented in hydroponics. In hydroponics, most of the people are asking for water pH, water EC, water temperature, and then other variables like temperature, humidity, lux, CO2, and CO2. So yes, this can be implemented in hydroponics also. Can we make out water level of specific farm and point for bore drilling? So bore drilling, it is possible. We have not done that. That is possible with the help of pressure sensors. So yes, these sensors are available, but these sensors are pretty much costly, and I'm not sure about the accuracy, that what accuracy they can provide. But yes, that is possible, because I have seen people doing that. You can monitor the depth of the bore well. How soil is analyzed through machine applications, sir? Sir, soil analysis, at least we prefer to be done only at the lab, because lab is something that can give you the highest accuracy. Though there are some companies who are doing this soil testing in real time also. I think I forgot the name, but there's a company who is doing soil testing using machine. They give you the live results. Probably in half an hour they give the results, but their testing is limited to few variables. Whereas if you go to a lab, there you can have the testing done for micro levels, micronutrients also, and macronutrients also, and some other variables also. The component which record data through sensors, component, internet, all. Okay, I have to probably get some more information on this question, which was asked by Pramod.
Sir, hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you explain the monitoring of the micro weather, sir?
Yes, sir. I can do that, sir. So there is something called micro weather. There is something called meso weather, right? Meso weather is something that is at the canopy level, right? Micro weather is something that is at the farm level. And the weather and how micro weather is different from what information you get from Google is Google get all this information from Government of India IMD installed weather station. Now this weather station can be installed almost like 20-50 kilometers away from where your farm is, right? And it don't represent the weather at your farm. So micro weather is the weather which you are monitoring at your farm level. The variable which you can monitor are temperature, humidity, pressure, rainfall, wind speed, wind direction, the leaf wetness also, right? Or the solar radiation also. So in fact, I'd like to explain more on that. So you can consider a village which will have the same micro weather. So if you are installing a weather station in a village, and if you are only interested in monitoring few variables which don't change in the range of 1 kilometer, then it's fine. Second, from Sanket Jain, IoT, Internet of Things, so sensors, computer, internet, which you can access information remotely. Okay, somebody answer. Insect counting, sir, I think I have provided you. Insect counting can be done with the help of a solar camera. In fact, we are developing a device which is solar powered device which will keep on capturing the images in real time. You will get all these images delivered to you onto the cloud, onto the web dashboard, and our machine learning algorithm will tell you if the insect population is increasing or decreasing. This is the question which I think I would have answered earlier. So we have option for all the power sources. So usually when we are deploying these devices in remote location where there is no regular power, so we use solar powered with battery. So solar panel keep on charging the battery, and even though if there is no solar panel, we provide the battery backup for up to 10 days also, right? And if there is some regular power available, we provide the regular power plus battery. So in case regular power goes out, you still have something that is powering your device and you are not losing the data. So IoT can be detected in a multi-cropping system with a variation in height of the different plants at a place. Yes, in fact, we have done, if you're talking about different plant heights, if somebody want to monitor the temperature at different height, that is possible. You can have multiple, you can have 2 or 3 temperature sensors connected to a single device, and you can install them at a different height. Divya Gujja, if you are still a part of the meeting, please correct me if I'm wrong, if I understood your question correctly, that you want to understand that this micro weather monitoring can be done at different height also. I think the participant is not there. How can we do insect counting? That I have answered. Hydroponics I have answered. Okay.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir. I think now you can probably start asking questions.
So myself, Dhanaji. My question is
Yes,
that the technology is a very good thing that you are trying to adopt for the agriculture. So your target is your target customer is a Indian market or out of India?
Sir, both, because technology can be implemented anywhere in the world, if I'm right? So if technology is stable, we can develop technology in India and we can export it outside also. And this is what we, as an entrepreneurs of India, should be focusing at.
Can is very much possible. That's not a problem. But feasibility study should be there. Suppose we want to start establishing the 5G towers in Afghanistan. There is no use, because we cannot have that much feasibility over there. That's the reason I'm asking. Are you targeting the Indian customers?
We are targeting Indian customer. We are going very geography specific because we feel that we have to develop expertise in a specific crop. In fact, we are also working with the Australian customers and in EU also and Africa also. So means we are exporting our technology outside India also.
Okay, right, sir. Thank you very much that you are looking towards the Indian farmers. My question is that what are the basic problems that farmer is facing today? Is the technology or is there any other thing?
Sir, what farmer is facing today is unavailability of research-based technologies, right? I'll cite one very simple example to you. We are working with people in Kolar, and once you go to that farmer, you discuss with him. He is more like reactive. He even don't know what kind of practices he should be following on day-to-day basis, right? He simply irrigates. So unavailability of research package of practices is the biggest problem. Farmer don't have anybody to go to. He is simply relying on the distributors, seed distributors, or the fertilizer distributor to tell him the mitigation when things have already happened, right? So farmers don't have even the basic things also with them. I will not say that government of India is not working to improve the condition. In fact, government of India is the one who has been working from long back, because we are an agriculture nation, right? We have the farmers. So government of India is working. But is that information sufficient? The answer is no. We have to work more. We have to improve the way we are working with the farmer. We have to be interactive with the farmer. Simply sending a message about the weather forecast will not help farmer. Farmer needs somebody to whom with whom they can interact. And again, the technology is same with every technology. In the starting, technology is not available to everyone. I still remember the good old days of 2001 when my uncle only had this big smartphone, right? Now, after 20 years, you can even see a smartphone miss, again, this is a very bad word to use, to even a rickshaw driver also. They even have a smartphone with them. So the idea here is that yes, technology has improved this much that even a normal person or a person whose daily income is even 200, 300 rupees, they can also afford a smartphone. So it will take some time for this technology to reach in the hands of the marginal farmer, but eventually it will. The biggest example is the state of Maharashtra. You can see that most of the farmers in the state of Maharashtra are very progressive. They are using technology, and we believe that this same thing should happen in the other states of India also.
Okay, I am basically from Maharashtra, Kolhapur, but I stay in Bangalore for since 1998. And during this time, I have acquired around 55 acres of land, and I have started the cashew plantation, and then this one, black pepper plantation. There are so many things I am doing. But you pointed a very good point that one of the cause is the lack of a package of practice. This has happened in between because the current generation who is practicing, they have hardly worked into the farm with their parents. Okay, my stage is like this. I have worked with my parents, so I know how to do the farming. So if we look at the traditional practices, they are really good. That's not a problem. So your point is, I'm not denying your point, but this is one of the cause. But what is the biggest problem what I'm seeing, and I would like to really request you to work on that one, is the correct price for the produce that farmer is producing at the market. These are the two biggest problems. Then the technology, I would say, please allow me to talk. Then the technology, I would say, technology is definitely needed. I am a techie guy, and it is really needed. I have already put some of the IoTs in my farm. That's very good, no problem. But the highest priority is that the right price for the produce, and second is the market. I will tell you my example. 2 years back, I have cultivated the shatavari, that is Aspergus racemosus. I could cultivate around 12 tons of this one shatavari, but there is no buyer. Now it is just like that in my farm. I am destroying it. Okay, I am making the fertilizer out of that because there is no buyer. Second, then we cultivated this one pumpkin. Okay, 12 tons of pumpkin is right now. I can give you the picture of my farm. Right now it is there in my farm, but there is no buyer. Okay, now you see there is a very big gap, and the government is not looking into this. And if you, as a techie, and I'm also ready to contribute with you people if required, we can create a chain where we can sell the produce from the market. If you see the example of Jnaneshwar Bodke from Pune, what he has done is he has created this team of 1,000 farmers, and they are selling the product of each other. So similarly,
sorry to interrupt. You can take this matter personally, both of you, if you don't matter.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I understand. Sir, I have to stop you. Probably we can discuss on this in detail over the WhatsApp. You can call me and we can discuss. We have helped some of the farmers in this COVID pandemic to be connected to the end user. So we have done that. I totally understand, and we can discuss this. But probably we have to go to the other questions again.
But then there is no use of this seminar, right? Because if the problems of the farmers are not addressed, then what is the use of this seminar? Technology we understand. Suppose today if I don't have something to eat, how can I work outside?
Please mute him.
Sir, I understand. Sir, I understand that, but again, others also this question.
And this people are here for a reason. We are not solving.
Can I take up Vivek from Himachal?
Yeah, so
hello.
From Vivek. Yeah, Vivek.
Hello.
Haji, I'm from Shimla.
Sir, we are losing your voice. We are not able to hear you properly.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Joel. I wanted to know, like, while selecting a microcontroller, what are the specifications that you keep in mind?
So this is very probably this is very technical question, but yes, the microcontroller has to be of low power consumption. That is the biggest requirement, and it should be able to communicate with all the sensors which you are selecting. So that is
And
the most basic requirement.
and one more thing, like what is the gap of data recording that you take? Like what's the duration in between that you take recordings? And in that duration, do you keep the sensors switched on?
No,
Like,
we
do
don't
you?
keep the sensor switch on. So this is more like again very technical question. So this is how you manage this is more like a power management question, that we don't keep the sensor switch on. We monitor some from every 5 minutes to even 1 hour also. So you can configure the device to do the monitoring at a specific amount of interval. That is what we call as data push interval. So you can configure the device based upon the requirement, based upon how frequently you want to monitor. For example, there are some people who say, okay, I want to monitor one time in 1 hour with this particular soil moisture. But if you go to a researcher, he will say, give me every 1 minute, because they want to have maximum amount of data with them. Sir, probably next time we'll try to do that. Unfortunately, because this is a pan-India webinar, so we cannot have. We need to have language which everybody understand, and right now it's only English as per me. Sir, minimum how many acres land required for IoT supervision is, it can be even done for a half acre. It can be done for hundreds of acres also, right? For the plantation, for like cash crop plantation, you can have multiple device deployed in 100 acres. For a plantation which is in half acre, if it's a grape farm, you can in fact deploy a device for that also. Sir, just a moment, let me scroll down over here. Which type of sensor you use, sir, and how far they can detect? So this is again question which keep on coming in front of us, and I have answered this earlier also, that there are few variables which will not change even in the radius of 1 kilometer from where you have installed. I will cite this with an example. You are going to a village, you are installing a weather station which have temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, wind direction, solar radiation. So these variables will not even change in 1 kilometer or even 2 kilometer radius. But there are a few variables which even change from plot to plot. These variables are temperature, humidity, and soil moisture. Or these variables can also be leaf wetness, right? So different sensors are different kind of implementation. Sir, for pricing, you can approach us over the WhatsApp. I will loop in my sales team. They can tell you the price. Sir, this is very big question. We need to organize these webinars in local language. For example, we should be organizing webinars in a geography specific. So if we are organizing this thing in Karnataka, it can be Kannada, for Hindi and English. So I understand this point. Next time we'll consider this. Sir, somebody was asking.
I have a question that shall we integrate this with our ERP solution?
Sir, yes, in fact, you can do, because we provide the API exposure. So you can use our APIs to access this data, and you can integrate this with your ERP solution.
Right.
Sir,
Hello?
this is
Hello?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes,
what is the communication method used for the sensors to communicate with the microcontroller?
Sir, these communication methods are different. These devices can be digital, these devices can be analog, right? So digital can be Modbus, digital can be serial or UART, digital can be something like RS-485 also, right?
I'm sorry, I mean to say that wireless media, what it is? Is it
GPRS? It's 2G, 4G. It's also satellite communication. It's also Wi-Fi also. So there are multiple communication options.
Yeah, but Wi-Fi cannot take this much range, no sir. It can go only up to 30 feet maximum, right?
No, sir, it's not like Wi-Fi can go up to 30 feet or 50 feet, but GPRS, wherever you have network, wherever you have phone network, GPRS will work in those locations.
Yeah. So how are you addressing the problems of the people where there is no network? For example, most of the fields nowadays the network problem is too much. GPRS needs the network.
Sir, at least the location where we have work, like I told you that we have work in the remotest location like Simliguda, Kalahandi also, there they also have network. So this is the assumption that more than 90% of India has some kind of network in place, right? If the network is very much unstable, we record this data on the SD card. When network come back, we push it back to the cloud. So this is what we have done with Gram Vikas Foundation in Kalahandi. where they have this network which keep on coming and going, and they have this problem that they were not able to monitor the information when there is no network. So now they have a device which keep on recording this data onto the local machine SD card, and as soon as network come, we push it back to the cloud.
Yeah, but suppose I have a land of 1 acre and so many sensors are there. So each sensor will require one GPRS.
No,
That
sir,
is one.
No, sir, there are different kind of option over there. There we can have local wireless communication. So these devices, you can see this picture which is right now coming on the screen. So these devices don't have GPRS. They have something called wireless communication. All these devices are communicating to this gateway using the wireless communication that we call as sub-gigahertz or ISM band. So not every of the device need GPRS.
Okay. Right.
Sir, I have lot of question. I don't means. Let me see if I can answer most of them. Sir, wild animals and this monitoring is very difficult task. In fact, somebody from Sri Lanka approached us, but again, this is more like something that is possible, but that not has been done till now. That is possible, but that has not been done till now. Do we have a crop specific solution? Yes, we have crop specific solution. Right now we are covering 5 crop right now: tomato, capsicum, pomegranate, grape, and potato right now, and we will be adding more crops in future. Why we are targeting very specific crop? Because we think that you have to develop expertise in individual crop. You have to know more about the crop. You cannot be superficial, okay, that you simply monitor and you simply give it to the farmer, because farmer don't know what need to be done with that information. Farmer need, okay, what I should do now, right? So yes, in fact, we have done with couple of farmers who are into banana. For banana, soil moisture monitoring is one of the important variable, because they regulate the irrigation based upon the crop growth stage. Yes, sir, this will be recorded. This we'll upload this thing to the YouTube, and you can access this webinar on our YouTube channel also. Per acre, how many devices have to be installed, sir? Chebula Money, sir, we can discuss this in detail over the WhatsApp, that per acre how many devices are required. But for a 5-acre farmer of grape, we usually recommend one weather station and one soil sensor, considering the fact that he is irrigating whole of his field using a single solenoid valve, or if he is irrigating the field evenly. Do you have a crop specific solution? Yes, this I have answered. What will be the total, sir? Costing, and for costing, I'm not the right guy. I have to include my sales team. I will request you to please, you have my number in this chat. You can always WhatsApp me. I will loop in my sales team, and you can talk to them about the costing and where you want to implement, because a lot of this point depend upon where your location is. Right now, we are working very specifically in Karnataka, UP, and in South India. So we have to see where your farm is, and based upon what kind of crop you are doing, we can recommend you better solution. Okay, turn off the camera, take a screenshot. While choosing a microcontroller, I have answered this. We have a FPO. Can we? Yes, sir, we can collaborate. We are right now trying to work with a couple of FPOs also who are into a specific crop. We can collaborate, and we can think of us as a technology enabler for you. We can enable you with all this information, and if you have a crop expert, they can use this information to come up with customized advices for the farmer. Okay.
Is my voice audible now?
Yes.
Vivek from Shimla.
Yeah, Vivek. Hi, Vivek.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. Yes, sir, please tell me.
Actually, I'm pretty much satisfied with your all presentation. I got a rough idea of your products.
Yes.
Actually, I'm an apple grower, mainly apple grower.
Right, sir.
So, means to say, you have devices that can measure almost every parameter that I need. So,
right.
You are giving every sensor in collective, or it can be loose also, like
it can be loose, sir. So I will just this screen which if you are able to see this screen,
yes,
this device is only with soil moisture, right? So you can have a combination of soil moisture plus temperature, humidity. You can have a combination of soil moisture plus leaf wetness, or you can only have temperature, humidity sensors also. So it's not. Yes, please tell me.
Yes, please you complete.
So it's not required to have all the sensors. You can have a different combination of sensor based upon your requirement.
Okay, one more question to add. Actually, I live in a climate where it is mostly cold. So I need a sensor. Can you calibrate me, or can you make me a sensor which can measure me temperature, like for an particular hour, how much it can get?
Yes, it's possible. In fact, we are measuring every 5 minutes, right? So you can have an average of 1 hour. So suppose in 1 hour we are taking 12 readings. Every 5 minutes we are taking one reading, and in 1 hour you are getting 12 readings. So you can have an average of 1 hour also. So we do provide all these kind of features on our dashboard.
Okay, because it is important for a uniform flowering in apples. If we get good winters, I mean to say 0 to 7 degree temperatures, we have to calculate that. So if we get that, so we need less pesticides and all. So means to say
that is possible. That is a part of the dashboard that we provide.
Okay, okay. Now, my points are clear. Now we left with the price issues that we can discuss separately.
And somebody have asked, many farmer does not know how to use dashboard. That is very valid point, and I think that somebody was talking that, okay, how farmers will even start using dashboard. So for that you have to make it simple for farmer. As I mentioned earlier, a farmer will not know what to do with graph. A farmer will not know what to do with this data. What farmer need is, okay, is there any possibility of disease happening or not? Is this the right time when I should be doing irrigation or not? Or should I even do irrigation right now or not? What is the right time to spray pesticide or not? Okay. Is the weather going to change? Is it going to rain after 3 days so that I should halt my irrigation, because right now the crop don't need that. So farmer need the actionable insight. And right now, I think with the penetration of smartphone, as I mentioned, even though if the farmer don't have the smartphone with him, his son would have the smartphone, right? So farmers can be enabled. It's not like, yeah, I will not say that 100% farmer will get, but yes, I will assume that, okay, 90% of farmers have a smartphone, or even their kids have a smartphone, which can be utilized to tell them, okay, what need to be done. It's better from zero. They are getting something.
This should not be an issue.
Right, sir. I mean, yes.
This should not be issue, because you can take like a Google Assistant which can speak out. This is very rare issue, I think. Sorry to interrupt, and thank you so much.
Hello, good afternoon.
Not a problem. I am yes, sir.
Sir, I am C Money from Kurnool, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. I have 10 acres, sir.
Yes, sir.
And how many sensors we have to install for, sir?
Sir, what crop you are growing in that 10 acre?
Sir, we 10 acre will grow tobacco and cotton, sir.
Okay, sir. So probably you need 2 sensors in 2 different fields, because you will be having 2 different fields. So you can have 1 weather station and 2 soil moisture sensor nodes. That's all what you need.
Okay, sir. But
you can always,
in village,
yes,
farmers can't understand these technologies. How they will work on this?
Sir, we are providing this technology in vernacular language. We are supporting some of the language. So I hope farmer can read Hindi, right? So we are trying to make it as simple as possible. There are people like you who can access Zoom, right? So at least you can use. This is what I was trying to tell earlier, that not everybody will be able to use, but if their kids are using phone, they can help. So some effort has to come from the farmer side also, right? So, sir, I have to answer this question. Sagar Arbe, sir, you are asking some question. Can you please unmute yourself?
Hello.
Yes, my question is, is the irrigation wall will be automatically open? This facility is given through the system. If moisture, if you are giving the advisory like DSS, and
Right,
moisture that content, it can be installed to existing system or not?
It can be installed, sir. This solenoid valve can be opened or can be closed. For that, you will need a controller. Means I think you are talking about the smart irrigation, right?
Yes.
So if I will go back to the slide, this is definitely possible. We can again, because I have very limited time. It's already past 6 more minutes I have covered. So you can always call me. You have my number, and I can explain you how it can be done, sir. Yeah. So, sir,
Hello,
somebody
sir.
has asked. Sir, just a moment. I have to ask. I answer this question. Somebody have asked. I am doing research project in which we have to develop a water management model for a command where information from feed and water availability in reservoir. Yes, it is possible using a water level sensor. So that is definitely possible. You have a water level sensor which can keep on monitoring the height of the water in that tank, and that information can be pushed to the cloud, and you can see how much amount of water. If you have the dimension of that reservoir, you can even calculate the volume of the water. Sir, agronomist, sir, Jyoti Sharma, you can always yes, sir.
Sir, these sensors will identify the pest and diseases like that, sir.
Sir, these will not identify. These sensors help us to monitor the micro weather and micro weather from the field. Now, every disease and pest happen because of the environmental conditions, right? If there is leaf wetness and if there is temperature, there's a possibility of some fungal disease happening to the leaf, right? So we monitor this micro weather because most of the disease happen in a specific environmental condition. Just a moment. Just a moment. Yeah.
Shall we identify the disease through the image sensing?
Yes, that is possible. Image sensing disease is possible right now. A lot of people are using AI and ML technique or even image analysis to identify what kind of disease is there. That is definitely possible, sir.
But that image is taken from the drone, no?
So drone take the video, right? This image can be taken from an Android phone also. This image can be taken up from a drone also, or in fact you can have satellite-based images also, which can be utilized to provide the hotspot. So, for example, you are doing cultivation in 100-acre land, and you are taking satellite images with a resolution of 3 meter or 5 meter. If you see after the NDVI analysis, you will get to know the color coding. So whatever area is green, there the plant health is good. Whatever area is yellow, there the plant are under stress, and whatever area is red, their plant are in fact close to dying because the light they are reflecting is red, so they are not green. That is possible, sir.
Sir, I have a question. My name
Yes,
is
sir.
Pawan from Bangalore. Just wanted to understand what will be the cost of devices and services for 1 acre of hydroponics and 25 tanks of fish farming. Thank you.
Sir, yes, sir. I have to again repeat myself. I'm not the right guy to answer the question. You can please connect me. Can you please connect with me over the WhatsApp, sir? You have my number with you. You can call me.
And I can figure that would be enough, I guess.
Sir, these sensors that the costing can vary from even 20,000 rupees to 1 lakh rupees also, based upon the kind of sensor configuration somebody is going ahead with. And to be very specific, again, as I mentioned, that I'm not from a technical side, not the right guy to answer your question, and it will be it will be wrong if I put something in front of you which I can't stand with. So please connect with me on the DM, and I'll loop you. I will share my colleague Shailendra, right? Shailendra Singh.
Yeah, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Sir, Satyajit Mohanty, sir, can you please send us an email with this that what land you have, what kind of crop you are doing, and where is the location? We will get back to you with the costing and what can be done. I think I have answered this question from Darshan Jadhav. How much area single device cover? In our Yuktis technologies, there are many mechanisms, but no, this we don't have. Nice webinar. Farmers could be benefited or agriculture more number of webinars required. Sir, we are trying to improve the number of webinars. We are trying our level best to increase. Next week we'll be having a webinar where I'll be getting one progressive farmer, somebody who have started using technology, and he will share his experience with all of you at how technology has helped him. Sir, we are not working with paddy farmer right now because we can. I think I have answered your question on the WhatsApp that why we are not working with paddy farmers. Yes, it can be used in paddy, but right now we are not working with the paddy farmers. Yes, center pivot irrigation, sir. Probably have to get some more insight on this. What is center pivot irrigation? Warehouse, yes, sir. Any device. So this is basically where we have cold cells with us, which are a small battery powered devices to monitor the internal environment of warehouses. Any disease measurement. Sir, I think now I am open to others also. You can ask any specific question, or otherwise we can conclude the session. It's already 12:45. We have the session for the last one minute.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
hello.
sir.
Suppose a disease. Hello.
Sir, disease forecast is possible, sir. Yes, sir. Tell me, sir.
Sir, this is Vanshi. Sir, I just want to know how are we going to power up these sensors? Are we going through a wire power up or something else? Because you are saying that we'll be having a station, some gateway station from where the power is going to be distributed to the sensors. So are we going to lay the cables throughout the field where the sensors are going?
These are all solar powered. These are all battery powered.
So every sensor is a solar powered. That's what you are going to say,
right? Right, sir. Everything is solar powered.
So
hi, it's related to warehouse.
So
Yes, sir.
It is a
Sir, I
warehouse
have
with a
one.
question on warehouse.
Yes, sir.
It's how to monitor the stored goods weight and
Weight.
volumes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the volume is a bit again. Volume we have not covered. Is I probably have to put some thinking behind that at how you can monitor the volume. So,
Yeah,
sir, I don't have
that will help the financial institutions which
Yes,
they
sir.
are lending on the warehouse finance kind of thing.
Right.
If it is,
Sir, I
if that,
probably,
yeah.
sir, you can ping me on the WhatsApp. Probably I'd like to discuss this. I have some probably points which can be used, but we can discuss this thing at a personal level, sir. Is it fine, sir?
Yeah, fine. I'm from
Yes, sir.
Samunnati.
Okay, sir. You can always call me. You have my number with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, participant certificate. I have mentioned that we are not probably we're not an organization who can give a participant certificate, but I'll check on this with my colleague, and we can, if it is possible, we will definitely give a certificate.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
So good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes, tell me, please.
Sir, I'm Jyoti Sharma from Jammu and Kashmir, and I'm working with around about 200 farmers in organic farming, and I'm using the technique like LCC in my field and tensiometer. Is there any way that I could join your organization so that it could be helpful to the farmers of J&K? Because still now I'm doing my PhD in agronomy, and I'm working with farmers also. How could your organization would be helping me, or how could I help farmers of my J&K through your organization? Could you please elaborate it?
That is very much possible. So you can assume that you are an agronomist, and now what? I think you should read about our latest blog, which we have published. I will just type the blog link over here, blog.yuctix.com. Our latest blog is in fact on this topic, at how IoT technology can be used by the agronomists to improve the way they are providing the advisories to their farmers. So please go ahead. I think I have given a detailed, we have given a detailed description on how this can be used, and you can always contact us on the WhatsApp, or you can always call us, and we can discuss this in detail.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Can we conclude this session? I hope. And if
Yeah,
in case
and
I was,
Sharon,
I think
sir.
I was. Yes.
Salim, sir. Yeah, one more thing. We would like to take a screenshot of all the participants with video on. Okay, so
Okay.
so that we can have
you-
this as a screenshot.
Yeah,
Okay, so can you
yeah.
stop sharing the screen first and make yourself visible? Okay.
Sure, I will do that. Just a moment.
Okay, so hello everyone.
My last question is, there is a wiring we are going to see on field. So how we are going to do maintenance?
Sir, maintenance is not required. These devices are pretty much stable. So
So
maintenance
suppose
is very much less required.
we have seen a rod with wire, and that wire got cut off. So what will be the then what we have to do? Whether farmer is able to do install again, or whether your person is required?
He should be able to install it again. Again, this is where we are working. This is where we have mentioned that we are working very specific geographies where we have field presence, and if some problem happened for farmer, we can send our person or the local support.
But for remote sites, whether farmer can install these things, because I have seen.
Yes, they can install. They can install using a video or using a small document that can be given to them in their local language. That is definitely possible, because we have tried to make this device.
Your system. So we will contact you for that. But I'm concerned about the maintenance part.
It should not be required. I think the main aim of ours when we were developing this device was to make it as simple as possible and not make it too much complicated as compared to the devices which were installed earlier in research institutes. So yes, that is possible. And sir, we can discuss on this separately also.
So last question, like for Netafim and Jain Irrigation, all these are players where their installation is already there for irrigation control. So whether we can interface your system with their system?
Sir, you have to ask this question to them, that can they take input from some other system or not. So we can do the integration, but their system has to be in a position where they can take input from other sensors. So they have a device, they need to provide us an interface where we can push our data.
Sir, I have a small question regarding the cameras.
Yes.
Sir, how many cameras are required for an acres in order to have an insect inspection or the for monitoring the crop?
Sir, it usually go with the block type. So when we are talking to the big growers, suppose somebody is doing 100 acres, so they have 10 block of 10 acre each, and they usually spray on individual block based upon if that block is under stress or if that block is infected by some disease, right? So you can think of 100 acre will need 10 camera based upon the block size.
Okay, so a single camera can work on a single block. That's what
Yes,
I
single
want
block, right? Single block, right, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Krantesh, can we conclude this? And again, it's a request if anybody has. I think I was not able to answer the question which were on the sheet because it's already 1 hour 48 minutes. So I will try to answer because I have your email. I will try to individually address your questions over the email. And anyway, you have my number with you. In case you want to discuss, you can always call me, and we can discuss any of your problem in detail. I like to be of as much as help as I can be. Guys, thanks a lot. I really appreciate your time. You have given some time, and I hope you would have gained some information from this webinar. This might not have been the perfect one, but we are continuously trying to improve this. Yeah, Krantesh, please go ahead.
Yeah, so for the last minute, I would like to take a screenshot of all the participants. So please turn on your camera if you are in a comfortable position. Okay, it will be very much. I will really appreciate this. Okay, so thank you so much for everyone for this session, participating in this session. I hope this is very valuable to you, and we have given you some valuable insights about how application of IoT can benefit agriculture, Indian agriculture. Okay, so thank you everyone. Let me take a screenshot. Yeah.
Namaskar, sir.